Beanie, I was curious. You do a lot of projects where the ensemble is incredibly strong, like Booksmart. You're great in Impeachment, has a lot of really collective strength. I was wondering if that is something that attracted to you, to The Humans and Bridget.
Yeah, I think that's why I love being an actor is being a part of a team. I come from theater and growing up doing community theater and school theater, like that's your people. Those are your, not me holding my hand sanitizer. um, those are your people. Those are your lifeline. And growing up in the theater, even as like a young child doing community theater, you're taught you are there to have no ego. Like, this is not about you. This is about us. This is about the team, the collective, the cast, the crew. It's a togetherness feeling, and that is what I seek out, and what I just love about being an actor is feeling like a part of a team. And because I couldn't do sports, so I had to do acting. But like on Impeachment, I cried saying goodbye to our camera operators. I just felt like they're my teammate, like you're my team. Like, I can't believe I'm not going to see my team, so yes, for The Humans to, there's kind of no greater ensemble piece than The Humans. It is six people acting as one person. And so to be a sixth of that puzzle was just like such an honor. And for me, excuse me, I still feel at 28 so young and so new to this career. But we filmed the movie 2 years ago, so I felt even more of that 2 years ago. And to go from films where the ensemble was made up of people mostly my age or even younger, to The Humans, it felt kind of like my first day of rehearsal on Hello Dolly. It felt like, how am I allowed to be amongst these greats, and yeah. Beanie, like, to myself, like, soak it in, like, take notes, yeah. Appreciate every day, take in this experience. And I think the most beautiful part about The Humans was that when Steven called cut, or we were between setups, we didn't disperse. We didn't all go back to our rooms or go on our phone. We sat in a line. Like, there's so many pictures of our chairs in a row, and we would just talk. And even if one person was, reading a book or going over lines, we were just all together. It wasn't, it was such a collective in how we approached it. And Steven Karam said to us on the first day of rehearsal, just listen to one another. And yeah, that was our job. Amy said it earlier today, like, it was not about you and what you're doing and how you're performing. It's about them. It's about looking at June's hand shake as she sits on the wheelchair, looking at Jane's eyes, the way that they sort of begin to well, but they don't well, and the way that Steven has the dish towel over his shoulder, and the way that Richard will sort of look away before he talks to you, and Amy in this sort of quiet stillness. Like, it was observing each other versus thinking about, what is Bridget doing in this
yeah moment, Well, that also, really is, I mean, to me, watching it, it was really, I'm trying to think of the right word, it was really told to me of how much of an actual bond you guys had. First of all, I'm incredibly jealous. Those are your parents. June Squibb is your grandma. You're married to freaking Steven Yeun, and
I mean,
your sister. I mean, you're probably going to be the envy of everyone as soon as the movie comes out.
The number of people that have been like, Steven Yeun plays your new boyfriend. I'm like, that's right.
Yeah, like, what?
I know. Just a total dreamboat. No, you're my love for these people, our love for one another, is not acted. It is very real. And it was so natural and easy. I think of this film and I think of the it was just easy.
Yeah.
There wasn't you didn't have to push for anything. You didn't have to search for anything. It just was. Stephen Karam's writing is once in a lifetime.
Rich. It's really rich.
Oh my God, it's so rich. And Jane keeps describing it as an orchestra. It's orchestrations. It's like she says it's like reading a musical score. And it's so true. I mean, it's like Eric, Eric Richards' character is the bass, then Stephen is the tenor coming in over, and Jane is the alto. And I think Amy's character is sort of the peacemaker. She's like the mezzo soprano. I'm the soprano, just like railing on top, trying to get myself heard. And June is sort of this rhythm or this chorus that keeps coming in the sort of haunting undertone, and I think it's all Stephen, it's all right there on the script. Like anything that feels loose or improv, or it's all in the writing and down to the syllable. So Stephen Yeun would say, "Oh, Bridget, will you hand me?" And at the end of the "me," there'd be a slash, and then I would say, "What, hun?" And in the middle of the hun, there would be a slash, and then Amy would chime in. It was so orchestrated. Nothing that feels, the looseness comes from the structure and comes from Stephen. He's just a sharp observer of the human existence. It's like, yeah, no wonder it's called The Humans, because that's like what, and it was a tremendous gift that he gave all of us. And my God, is he a director too? Like it's such a joy to be.
This is his first movie. It's kind of nuts.
I know my obsession is being in first time filmmakers movies. That's like my new addiction. It's my favorite thing. I think that for the rest of when I'm June's age, I hope to still be doing directorial debuts, because there's a special, there's a true like gift in that experience, and I feel lucky to have been a part of Stephen's.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, I actually, now I'm thinking of like all the, like a lot of movies you've done. I was like, yeah, first time director. Okay. Something that I'm really curious about is, do you think your character is afraid of becoming her mother?
We keep joking all day that talking about this movie just quickly becomes therapy.
I don't know. Like, yeah, like sort of some of the lines you deliver to her, there's like this sort of unintended almost the character has towards her mom, but there's like that understanding that daughters love their mothers. So I was curious if you were like afraid of that.
I think everything we do as adults is either a direct reflection of what our parents gave us or a rejection of what our parents gave us. And I think so much of Bridget is a reflection, but she thinks she's rejecting it, and I think this character of an artist who moves out of a small town to kind of explore her dream in New York, in the big, it's a tale as old as time almost, Bridget's character. And the love, the protective love that her parents have for her, and they want her life to be easy. So they think in order for it to be easy, she shouldn't go after her dream. But for her, there's nothing harder than leaving her dream behind. So why, it's like that space that I think so many people relate to. But I think that the way, like, Stephen, you've never been a mother or a daughter. How do you do this? But the way that he captures mother, and not just one, but two mother-daughter dynamics is really special and haunting. And I mean, similar to when I read Lady Bird for the first time. Obviously, I was reading to play the character of Julie, but I thought, was Greta in my car growing up with my mom? It was a similar feeling of with The Humans. I remember when I watched the play, when I was an audience member of the play, I still remember Jane's face when they put the desserts in front of her. That scene like makes us all get teary and like our kind of a choke in your throat. And I think that particularly with me playing the character of Bridget and with Jane, we sort of become each other's mirrors, specifically
Mhm.
around food and a relationship to our bodies. And there's so much guilt and shame and self-reflection, and it's so nuanced and it's so complicated. And I think, as Beanie, I think she should be so lucky to be Deirdre. Bridget, you should be so lucky to be Deirdre, but that's so much easier said of someone else's family than when you're inside of that.
Yeah.
And that's the brilliance of the character of Richard, is that he's so in it and yet can observe it at the same time. And yeah, I think she certainly is afraid of becoming both of her parents
Mhm.
and is trying to prove that she can do without that.
Yeah.
Of course she can't. And that's sort of all of us, I think, in some ways.
There's sort of like an optimism that you really bring to the character too, where I don't know if anything, where Richard's character is he's scared for you being there in a flood zone, or the sort of like post 9/11 paranoia of you living in a city. And I love how the opening shows all these like tight corners, and we see that all throughout the movie. There's optimism that you bring to her that when I saw, I think, a regional production of it, I don't think that came through to me. And that's sort of like, if someone presents you a problem, you're just like, oh well, no, this is why it's going to be good, this, that, and the other. That's what I loved about your performance. But actually, I think we're out of time, so thank you so much for thank you so much. Love the movie. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was so nice talking to you. Have a good day.